And we are back. Welcome to game week 30 of the Premier League. We are almost at the end of the season now, and it is an absolutely pivotal week all across the table. Before we get into it today, I just want to say, I said at the start of the Game Week 29 Part 2 video that I thought it was the hardest set of predictions to make so far this season, and I got all 6 correct in terms of the result. We didn't get any of the correct scores, but I managed to get all 6 results correct. So if that's not worth a like, certainly on last video, then please give it on this one. Also, before we get into today, let me know your thoughts in the comments about Chelsea reappointing Frank Lampard until the end of the season. Very, very risky choice in my opinion, but I suppose they've got nothing to lose. Their main focus is now going to be getting through the Champions League, so we'll see how they get on against Real Madrid in the coming weeks. But bizarre choice for me, not the one I'd have gone for in my opinion, but that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And before we get into the video, one last reminder, as always, to drop a like on the video if you enjoy this series and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let's get into what I've already said is a pivotal week in the Premier League. And we start with Manchester United taking on Everton. Now, this is another must-win game for Manchester United. It is the early kickoff, the first Saturday lunchtime kickoff for a while, and more than likely our last Saturday lunchtime kickoff for the remainder of the season, as we have Europa League commitments and whatnot. I have to feel like I'm pretty confident going into this one. I know Everton's home record has been very good since Sean Dyche took over, and of course they drew with Tottenham at home during the week, but I have to feel like we win this one, surely. I mean, we need to. We played well against Brentford. We should have scored more goals, and hopefully we are going to get some more goals this weekend. I'm going for a 2-0 win to United, and a reminder that there will be no post-match reaction to this, as I am away this weekend. So if you want my reaction to that, I may do one on Monday, especially if we don't get the win. But yeah, no reaction to the Manchester United game this week, as I am away. Moving on to a whole host of 3 o'clock kickoffs this week, and we start with in-form Aston Villa taking on out-of-form Nottingham Forest. And if that doesn't tell you where this prediction's going, I don't really know what is. I'm going to go for 3-0 to Villa. Been really impressed with them under Unai Emery, and there is rumours that Steve Cooper's job could be on the line in this one for Nottingham Forest. So we'll see what happens. If Villa do get the result that I have predicted, it could see the end of Steve Cooper's reign in charge of Nottingham Forest. But I just don't see this being any other result other than a comfortable win for Villa. On to Brentford and Newcastle. And if it wasn't for what I saw the other night, this probably would be a much tougher fixture to call. But Brentford were absolutely shocking against Manchester United, and Newcastle produced a level of performance away at West Ham that I didn't really think they were capable of. I know Newcastle have been fantastic this season, but to go and score 5 away at West Ham is a hell of an achievement. So if Brentford don't reach the heights that they have in recent times, if they play like they did against Manchester United, and Newcastle play the way they did against West Ham, this is going to be another comfortable win for Newcastle United. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to go for a 2-1 win for Newcastle, but I could see it being another rout if performances are as they were in midweek. On to the aforementioned West Ham United, and they take on Fulham. Now, Fulham, of course, have now been confirmed that they have lost Alexander Mitrovic basically for the rest of the season because they have no other cup commitments, so they'll have to cope without him, but they're still playing pretty well at the moment. Their home form is still very, very good. West Ham, of course, are looking to bounce back from that 5-1 defeat, but I think this game's come a few days too soon, so I'm going to go for a Fulham win in this one, and I'm going to go for 2-1. The next one is the first of what I think is the really tough predictions this week, and that is Leicester against Bournemouth. And it would be so easy for me to say Leicester take this one fairly comfortably because it's only Bournemouth. But actually, Bournemouth have played really well the last few weeks, and I think it'd be very disrespectful for me to sit here and say that Leicester take this one comfortably. And Leicester have obviously parted ways with Brendan Rodgers. They didn't play very well the other day, and I'm just not convinced they're going to get the win. I think they're in serious trouble of getting relegated, which is a bizarre thing to say considering how well they've done the last few seasons. But I sit here right now and I can't give Leicester the win in this one, so I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. And we'll see what happens. I think all 3 results are possible here. So for now, I'm going to split them down the middle and go for a 1-1 draw. On to the second of the really tough ones. It is Tottenham against Brighton. Can Tottenham finally break their duck in terms of proving Antonio Conte wrong and proving they can't throw away results up against a Brighton side that are still full of confidence. Yes, they drew at home last weekend, but they still scored 3 goals. And then, of course, they won very comfortably in midweek. So I expect Brighton to perform well, and I expect Brighton to score goals in this game. It's just whether or not Tottenham can show enough fight and spirit, A, to keep Brighton out, and B, if they do go ahead, to then hold on to the lead. But I just don't see it happening right now. Tottenham are a bit of a mess at the moment. Brighton are playing very, very well. I'm not going to give Brighton the win, but I am going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think this is going to be a very, very exciting, fun game with lots of chances at both ends. And I'm just going to put it down the middle once again. The final of the 3 o'clock kickoffs sees Wolves taking on, once again, Frank Lampard's Chelsea team. Now, I think Frank Lampard will make changes. He'll want to come in and put his own stamp on the team as he goes in for the remainder of this season. And I think you'll see some more of the players that he used to play come back into the side. More on that in tomorrow morning's fantasy football video. But I think Frank Lampard will make some changes and go with some more players that he trusts. And I actually think Chelsea will get the result in this one. I keep backing them because I keep looking at that squad of players and think surely if they get it working, they're going to win football matches. And they're going to start scoring goals. So I'm going to go for 2-0. I think it's a game that Chelsea would expect to win. Wolves, of course, do need the result themselves. And they'll probably target this as one that they have a very good chance of winning given Chelsea's current run of form. But for me, I have to go for Chelsea in this one. The final game of Saturday sees Southampton host Manchester City. The side that are, quite frankly, basically already gone from the Premier League, the form that they're in at the moment, against the Manchester City side full of confidence, full of form, and more than likely will have a returning Erling Haaland coming into the starting lineup. Before I give away the result, though, I will say that these sides did face each other very recently in the League Cup, and Southampton were able to get the home win. So this isn't a game that's all wrapped up before it begins, but I have to look at the current form and say Manchester City will take this one very, very comfortably. And I'm going to go for a 4-0 win to City. I think the way they played against Liverpool, if they get anywhere near that level of performance against Southampton, it's going to be a very, very long evening for those Saints fans. We move on to Sunday then, and we start with Leeds United taking on Crystal Palace as 2 of the relegation-threatened sides go head-to-head once again. Now, these are 2 sides that are currently out of the relegation zone after wins in their most recent fixtures, so it makes this one a little bit tougher to call. Roy Hodgson, of course, getting that late winner, or his side getting that late winner through Mateta in their last game. But I think travelling to Leeds with the Ellen Road crowd behind the Leeds United players, the way they played last time out, I just think Leeds edge it again like they did in their last game. So I'm going to go for a repeat of my prediction from last time, and I'm going to go for 2-1 to Leeds United. And finally, the main event of the weekend sees Liverpool take on Arsenal. Now, this is the toughest fixture to predict, in my opinion, this weekend, because it just depends what Liverpool side turn up. We all know what Liverpool are capable of on their day. They haven't shown any sort of performance since their 7-0 win over Manchester United. It's been shocking performance after shocking performance. They're struggling to score goals. They're struggling to keep other sides out. They realistically should have got beaten by Chelsea very, very easily if it wasn't for several missed chances from those Chelsea players. So, back at Anfield, back under the lights, a massive game against a massive club, the league leaders. Surely that will galvanate the Anfield crowd and galvanate the players to produce a performance, but you just can't guarantee it at the moment. And obviously Arsenal are playing phenomenal football. They are, you have to say, the best team in the league right now because they are still top of the league by a decent margin. But on the flip side of that, their record at Anfield over the last few seasons has been absolutely atrocious as well, and that's got to be playing on the players' minds. So it's really a toss of the coin where this one goes. All 3 results absolutely are available in this one. It all depends what Liverpool side turn up and what mentality the Arsenal players take into this game. So it really is pot luck. So I'm going to scrap all of the mental aspects of it and just go with what team is playing better football at the moment, which is, of course, Arsenal. So I will go for a 3-1 win to Arsenal. But Like I say, I really can't call this one at all. I think this is a near impossible fixture to predict, given all of the things I have previously mentioned. And that is going to be it for this weekend's predictions. As always, let me know down in the comments your thoughts about all the things that have happened this midweek, and of course your thoughts to my predictions, and give me your predictions as well. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow morning for my fantasy football video. I'll see you then.